Hey scribers, in this video I want to go over some concepts for building a template that is incredibly flexible and can suit really any job you need to do. So I've opened up a report. This is just my Orca Residential. That's my company, and this is what how I use these templates. So the first thing everybody should know about all templates is that if right now, if I were to publish this report, there would really be nothing in it except for the boilerplate, because all of my fields are blank. I don't have data in there, and that's how the whole template works. So let's say this report were filled out, and you notice I have a crawl space chapter, and the house didn't have a crawl space. I have these set as required fields that I need to enter, right? So I've got 189 items that I need to fill in on a brand new report. Well, if the house doesn't have a crawl space, I can just turn that green, those go away, and now I have 181 items. I have 4 bathrooms set up, so maybe the house only has 2 bathrooms. I could get rid of the powder and the guest bath, and now of course I have 171 items to review, and I've got 2 bathroom chapters to fill in. And again, I don't need to do anything else because I'm not putting any customer data in here or any specific data. Those will not print when I go to publish the report. You can also, for example, in my interior chapter, I have a couple sections for indoor air quality and elevators. I almost never use these, but occasionally if I get a really moldy house or something, I'll use that. Or obviously if there's an elevator. I don't have any required fields set here, and usually I just ignore these. I have them at the bottom of my chapter, but if I want to put data in, I can. Another example of this might be in the bottom of my grounds chapter. I've got outbuildings, trellises, and I usually rename this. I might call this like, back storage shed or something, and then write something about it. But I have a little section that's kind of built for like outbuildings and stuff. So I hope that makes sense, but that's just really trying to take advantage of the fact that you can really, I have a whole additional plumbing chapter, and I often don't fill out tons of this stuff, but sewage ejector pumps and central vacuums, fire suppression, irrigation, water filters, spa, water features, saunas, swimming pools. I don't really do much. I don't charge for those. They're kind of beyond the scope for me, but I have them all in a chapter that I can just kind of ignore unless I need it. So I hope that kind of makes sense on the first part of it. Okay, so the first part of building a flexible template is really just taking advantage of the idea that if you leave a section blank, it won't print. So that'll let you just have everything in there. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is the fact that if you can add stuff really easily. So let's just say the house has 2 subpanels. So I can go in my electric service, I can go under subpanel, and I could copy section and copy section again. And so, now we could have subpanel basement. This one could be subpanel garage number 1, and this lower one could be subpanel garage number 2. So you can just keep adding subpanels as needed. Now, as long as you don't hit Save Template, you won't be picking that up for the next time. The system is automatically saving everything for this particular job. So I'm just now tweaking the template to suit the job. I could go and we could add a whole chapter. So here's a kitchen chapter, and I could come up under the 3 dots at the top of the chapter, and I can hit Copy Chapter. Well, now I have a whole other kitchen. So we could call this Kitchen Studio, something like that. Let's say the decks, we could go under the deck section. I have wood decks, porches, and balconies. You could call this main back deck. And then we could copy section, and we could call that one small wood entry deck. you see how quickly you can make little tweaks so that the template of your report really specifically matches the house. We could go through and then maybe there's no concrete stoops and there's no water resistant deck, so I can just turn those green and leave them blank and forget about them. So that's part two of this, is just the fact that you can, part one was you can ignore what you're not using, and part two is you can expand the template by copying chapter and copying section so that the template melds perfectly with the building. Okay, part three of this tutorial is using the boilerplate feature. So let's just say that this is a job that I started and I'm just going to do a roof inspection. So I'm going to use my consulting boilerplate, and everything is blank. I haven't filled anything in here. So I can now go to my roofing section. I could fill out a bunch of stuff here. I could write a whole narrative and put pictures in and everything. And basically that will be the total report. If I wanted to, I could even under report templates here, under settings and report templates, you can actually shut off the summary page, and sometimes I will do that just if I'm doing a quick, one or two item report. I feel like I don't need a summary and I'll turn it off. You do have to remember when you want that back to go toggle that back on. But it's a really easy way that you can use one template to include things like just a consultation, just change the boilerplate up and now you've got like a consulting template. And if I want to do my full report template, I'll bring it back to the Orca home inspection boilerplate. A final thing to think about would be like a condo interior only inspection. You could go to the grounds and you're not including those, so you turn them green. You could go to the exterior and turn it green. You might do decks. Sometimes you include those in an interior. Sometimes I do. Maybe you're not going to do the garage. Probably no fuel distribution. So you see, you just go through and kind of turn the ones green that you're not going to use as part of this. Sorry, that's my little thing for Grammarly. You just turn these green and you're kind of turning that stuff off so you don't have to think about that stuff. Attic, probably not get into in a condo interior. So I hope that makes sense. These are a few little tricks of just how you can use a single template for lots of different jobs. I can literally use my template for a single item consultation, to a condo interior only, to a full condo, to a residential, or to a commercial. And I use that by tweaking the template, keeping things blank that I don't want to print, and adjusting the boilerplate as needed. All right, thanks for watching.